Coach Onsari, and today I'm going to be talking about teaching across proficiency level. Alright, let's start from this, defining proficiency levels. The ACTFL Proficiency Guidelines, or we can say American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages in 1986, have come to be a widely recognized proficiency standard in language teaching circle. The conversion was FSI levels, but nowadays we can say as ILR or Interagency Language Roundtable. It only focuses on FSI oral interview. Alright, we have 11 different levels of oral interview. The test taker is judged to possess proficiency. In this case, we have level 0 till 5, and for the first one, let's start from 0. It means 0 means the students do not know about English, but in the 5th grade, in the 5 levels, they have already understood about a language. If 0 level is unable to function in the spoken language, here in the level 5 or in the highest level, speaking proficiency is functionally equivalent to that of a highly articulate, well-educated native speaker and reflects the cultural standards of the country where the language is spoken. So here we can apply the language based on the culture, based on the way how native speaker speaks in the language. We can apply it, and it's the highest level of this oral interview. After talking 10 different levels of oral interview, the ACTFL Proficiency Guidelines were created to expand on the FSI levels. They are listening, reading, and also writing. They are not connected with one proficiency test, but they are only created to guide any test maker in the process of assessment. Here, numerous test designers utilize the guidelines as a standard of the assessment. In teaching across proficiency levels, we have 3 kinds of levels here. The first is teaching beginning levels, teaching intermediate levels, and the last is teaching advanced levels. Let's start discussing for the first point, teaching beginning levels. Some people will think that teaching beginners is the most challenging level of language instruction, because in this case, the students will not have any knowledge about English before or about a language. Then it will make the teachers become the center of the learning process in the class to reach their goals. Here are 10 factors about teaching beginning levels. Start from number 1, students' cognitive learning processes. In this case, the teacher needs to repeat all the sentences again and again because it can make the students understand what the teacher said, and also it will make the students repeat the limited number of words, phrases, and also sentences. Then the second one, the role of the teacher. In this part, the teacher will be the center of the learning process, and a teacher needs to keep the ball rolling in the teaching learning process. Teacher talk. The teacher's input in the class is crucial. So when the teacher speaks slowly, but it doesn't mean slowly too much, and the teacher needs to use the simple vocabularies and structures. Authenticity of the language. It can be simple greetings and also introductions. The fluency and also accuracy. It means fluency is a goal at this level, and also attention to accuracy should center on the particular grammatical, phonological, or discourse elements that are being practiced. Then it's about students' creativity. Students can be creative only within the confines of a highly controlled repertoire of language. It has to be able to comprehend and produce it in unrehearsed situation. So the students need to present something in unrehearsed situation. Then techniques, simple techniques must be used. So there are some kinds of techniques that are appropriate for the students. Group and pair activities can be used in this part. Then listening and speaking goals. Listening and speaking functions for beginners are meaningful and authentic communication texts. Next is about reading and writing goals. Reading and writing topics are confined to brief, but nevertheless real life written material. So I can say that we can give the students like letter experience in this case in this part. Then 10 is about grammar. A typical beginning level will deal at the outset with very simple form or pronoun, sometimes simple sentences, and an inductive approach to grammar will be suitable in this case. The second level is about teaching intermediate levels. Alright, for this part, the students have progressed beyond beginning levels to an ability to sustain basic communicative tasks. So it means they can establish some minimal fluency. They can also deal with a few unrehearsed situations. They can also self-correct on occasion, and they can use a few compensatory strategies. In teaching intermediate levels, we have also 10 factors related to it. The first one is students' cognitive learning processes. Some automatic processing has taken hold, so the students can continue to automate to allow the bits and pieces of the language. So here the students will have the different levels of the beginners. Then the second, the role of the teacher. Here the teachers are no longer the only initiator of a language. Then the learner can be the center of the learning process. Teacher talk. Teacher talk should not occupy the major proportion of a class hour. So it means, for example, an hour, the teacher needs to talk for about 15 minutes, and the rest of the time will be the time for the students to practice their language. Then authenticity of language. Students sometimes become overly concerned about grammatical correctness and may want to wander into esoteric discussions of grammatical details. Sometimes we can say that it can make the students to be grammarians. Grammarian is for someone who likes talking about grammar to analyze about grammar. Then, fluency and accuracy. Fluency exercises are a must, maintaining the students' flow with just enough attention to error to keep them growing. Then we only focus on the way they speak and also the flow of their speaking. Then number 6 is about students' creativity. Sometimes we will find some students with like sentences like this. Do you can play, but it's actually can you play? Then it means the students will make some sentences, but we need to correct it, and we can say also it's about the students' creativity. Then techniques, we can use role plays and storytelling to improve their language. Listening and speaking goals, students can participate in short conversations or ask and answer questions. Then reading and writing goals, because there are many complexities in reading and writing goals, it will make them understand the way how to skim and scan in reading. Then the last is about grammar. The topics such as progressive verb tenses and clauses typify intermediate level teaching. So the material is also increasing. For the last is about teaching advanced level. In this level, the students will move and get closer and closer to the goals because they can apply their understanding in learning a language. 10 factors are also available in advanced levels. Students' cognitive learning processes, so the teacher should assist the ongoing attempt. For the role of the teacher can sit back and let the students' question and self-generated curiosity take over. So the teacher needs to let them to take over the class. The teacher talk. Natural language and natural speech is a must. Students are challenged by the choice of vocabulary, structures, idiom, and other language features. They need to change the words into another words that has the high levels of speaking. Then authenticity of language, everything from academic prose to literature to idiomatic conversation becomes a legitimate resource for the classroom. Fluency and accuracy, here some students are producing and comprehending. Number 6 is about students' creativity. So the students will apply their real context into the learning process because the students are now able to apply classroom material to real context beyond. Techniques means now it can tap into a full range of sociolinguistics and pragmatics competencies. Listening and speaking goals, students can focus more carefully on all sociolinguistics nuances of language. Then reading and writing goals. Reading and writing skills similarly progress closer and closer to native speakers' competence. So it means the students will go closer to the native competence. Then for the last one, grammar. The class doesn't need to become saturated with language about language, but well-targeted deductive grammar has its place. That's all for my presentation. If you have any questions, please contact me and let's discuss it together. Thank you so much for watching my video and see you on another day.